Developing your online presence and image. When it comes to developing your online presence, you want to put as much emphasis on the actual structure of your website from the navigation menu to the layout. You need to assign a professional image to every element associated with your brand, and use these visual stimulants as a way of driving brand recognition home with every visitor to your website. We're all visual creatures, and your website's design and aesthetics itself will carry a lot of weight in regards to your ability to develop a reputation for quality. Many people overlook the importance of a professional online presence and focus more time on product development and their back-end system than they do their front end. You need to focus equally on both areas of your brand's campaign, because ultimately, when it comes to first impressions, your website will be the butler that introduces and greets your visitors at the door. If you aren't careful in focusing on giving your visitors a positive experience from the moment they land on your website, it's unlikely that they will give it a second glance or return to your website in the future. In fact, from studies conducted over a period of 2 years, it was found that a visitor landing on a website will judge and form a decision to buy or return within the first 40 to 45 seconds of their visit. This is why your website's overall appeal is so incredibly important. You need to build a comprehensive navigation menu so that your visitors aren't confused when entering your website. You also need to focus on professional graphics and sales page elements that represent your company and brand in a positive way. Do you intend to use a splash page that features information about your company? Or are you planning on creating subdomains that house your sales page, company information, or perhaps network websites? You should do your best to organize your websites so that each one has a clear purpose. Never clutter up your websites with an abundance of external links, even if your objective is to evenly advertise your network websites. Instead, create an individual web page for each product or service you offer, and house each category on subdomains or on alternative domains that interlink to each other. To gain maximum exposure for a brand that you are creating, you want to associate all of your products and services so that they are given equal exposure. You can do this by categorizing your pages on subdomains, interlinking from external domains, or simply creating a network page that lists all of the different websites, products, and services that are associated to your online brand. Making your brand search engine ready. You will also want to take search engine optimization into consideration, both when attempting to position yourself within the search engine rankings, as well as the actual websites that come up in search engine results, whenever a potential visitor searches for keywords and phrases that are associated to your brand. For example, if you have a corporate website that offers information about your company, background, and services, you will want to assign specific keywords that will trigger your website to appear whenever a potential customer searches for direct information about you. Yet, if you are interested in ranking for specific products or services that you offer, those individual websites should feature keywords relating to your product or brand, rather than your company itself. It's important to separate your search engine campaigns so that you are able to rank for relevant keywords that associate to each website or subdomain that you create. This will ensure that those using the search engines to locate information about you or your products are directed to the appropriate page. When it comes to SEO, there are important structural elements that you need to implement into your web pages in order to ensure that your website ranks as high in the search engines as possible. This includes title tags, meta description tags, meta keyword tags, as well as implementing a sitemap so that spiders are able to successfully crawl, explore, and index all of your main pages as well as all internal subpages. Your title and meta tags are the first website components recognized by search engine crawlers, or spiders. Search engines rely on spiders to crawl websites and index pages appropriately. When a spider, otherwise referred to as a crawler, lands on your website, the first thing they take notice of is your domain name and your website's title tag. A title tag should include a description of what your website is about. Rather than just including your website's URL, you should always incorporate your primary keyword phrase into the title tags of each web page you own. Be sure that your homepage title tag is related to the keywords you have chosen to represent your brand's image. Consider adding in the top 3 keywords relating to your industry and brand into the title of each page on your website, as well as the top 5 keywords into the meta keyword area assigned with the header of your website pages. The prominence of your keyword is based on the first instance of where it appears within your content. A keyword phrase that is used at the end of your content will be considered less relevant than a keyword phrase that appears in the first portion of your content or article. This means that you need to ensure that you implement your primary keyword phrases into the first half of your content so that it is given more weight when search engine spiders index your website. Header tags also play an important part in search engine optimization, because by using head tags within your website's content, you are able to highlight important text on your website, ensuring that search engine spiders pay special attention to the text contained within these head tags. You should also consider adding a sitemap into your website to help direct search engine spiders to crawl your entire website and index all important pages and subpages. You can create a sitemap very easily by using free services such as www.xmlsitemaps.com. Finally, create a free Google Webmaster account and add your sitemap's URL so that you are able to instantly update it at any time, as well as monitor traffic stats for your entire website. You also want to focus on using anchor text with both internal and external links. If you are not sure what anchor is, here is a brief overview from Wikipedia. The anchor text, link label, or link title is the visible, clickable text in a hyperlink. The words contained in the anchor text can determine the ranking that the page will receive by search engines. You want to alternate your keywords for anchor text so that you can rank for various keywords, rather than just your brand's name or website URL. With search engine optimization, you want to focus your efforts on the search engines that will bring in the most traffic. Here is the percentage amount of search traffic that the top 3 search engines receive. Google 61%, Yahoo 30%, MSN 9%. Use Google Keyword Tool to do your keyword research for all of your search engine optimization strategies. Begin by entering in your main keyword, also referred to as the seed keyword. This is a keyword or phrase that describes your brand or a specific product or service that you intend to offer. The Google Keywords tool will generate a listing of potential keywords relating to your primary phrase, seed keyword. You will be able to determine estimated traffic based on each keyword phrase entered into the Google Keyword tool, and by doing this, you can focus on incorporating keywords that are likely to draw in targeted traffic. Example: if you are selling an ebook on acne cures, you would enter in keyword phrases such as how to cure acne or how to treat acne. The AdWords Google Keyword Suggestion tool allows you to enter in a keyword or phrase from a possible niche that you are considering so that you can evaluate existing competition, active keywords based on popularity and overall use. When you enter keywords into the Google Keyword tool, you will be able to generate extended listings that feature various keywords associated to the main keyword that you entered into the search box. The first column provides you with alternative keyword phrases that you could use within your content, as well as with search engine optimization or promoting your product within PPC marketplaces. The second column indicates the level of competition, and in our example above, nearly all of the featured keyword phrases are being heavily targeted by competitors. The third column indicates the estimated number of searches for each particular keyword based on monthly volume. Sometimes it takes a bit of time to find a good number of solid keywords that you can use that aren't so heavily targeted by competitors. But by using Google's keyword tool, you will be able to generate hundreds of potential keywords for each of your pages that symbolize and describe your brand and your products and services. Assign different keyword groups to each page you create and focus on driving in targeted traffic who are looking for specific information about your company or the different types of offers you showcase. Remember, you want your website to rank individually for each page you host, so that when potential visitors enter in keywords and search for information relating to your brand, they are able to locate specific pages based on their search queries. Other resources include NicheBot Classic and Google Trends. For more information on effective search engine optimization, here are a few notable sites: SEObook.com, SEOmoz.org, and SearchEngineLand.com. When creating your website, you also want to keep in mind that images and pictures paint 1,000 words, and that you really want to focus on using appropriate imagery that defines and represents your brand in a positive way. Keep graphics to a minimum to ensure faster page loading, and make sure that you outsource all of your graphic creation requirements to experienced professionals. You want to build an engaging, interactive website that is both user-friendly and professional. Don't overlook important elements of your website, from the design, color, to overall concept. Each component is an important one and should provide your website visitors with a positive, hassle-free experience. Social network branding. You also want to pay attention to external websites that can help you further your brand, including social communities such as Twitter and Facebook. Even if you do not intend on utilizing these social networks to maximize exposure, you should set up accounts in order to reserve your brand's name. For example, whenever a user creates a Twitter account, their username becomes part of the URL leading to their profile page. If your brand image features a product title called XYZ Marketing, you should consider reserving www.twitter.com/XYZmarketing, as well as other keywords relating to your brand, service, or product line. You should do the same with other popular social communities and networks, including Facebook, FriendFeed, Squiddo, Blogger, WordPress, and Hub Pages. By doing this, you can further expose your brand to your target audience while ensuring that you protect your brand from other people capitalizing on the time and effort you put into developing it. These websites, also known as feeder sites, are exceptionally effective at driving in targeted traffic from the search engines to your main website or corporate page. So even setting them up so that they feature an external link can help you begin to funnel in free traffic while building on your online brand. Think about the top names in your industry. Each person, whether they use their real names, a variation of their name, or an original character, are known for specific things. These elements collectively define their brand. If you do not brand yourself as an expert in a specific niche, you become the jack of all trades, the master of none, and people will not remember you or ever recognize you as an authority on a specific subject. This is a very important thing to consider, so don't overlook it. People have failed miserably because they entered the online business industry with the preconceived notion that they could simply tackle it all, establishing a brand that is wide-scoped and encompasses it all. You don't want to make this common mistake. Your brand, and each one you create, should directly focus on specific industries, markets, or topics. You should work towards developing brand awareness for individual campaigns that target specific markets if you truly want to develop a solid brand that is instantly recognized as an authority in your chosen field. In other words, you need to first identify what you need to be known for, primarily, and then work towards building a brand focusing on that subject, topic, or industry. You can then branch out into other markets and avenues once you have established yourself as a credible source and have orchestrated the creation of an everlasting, recognizable brand. When it comes to making money online, there is a critical component to success that is often overlooked: building a recognized brand. If you truly want to be successful in your industry, you need to develop a reputation for value, and with that comes the opportunity to establish yourself within your market, while building brand awareness. Think about the authorities in your niche, and you'll quickly discover the one thing they all have in common. Not only have they worked towards developing credibility as an expert in their field, but along with that, they have solidified their place within their industry by building a solid brand that is instantly distinguishable and recognized by their market. You can begin to develop your own brand through a variety of different ways, some of which can help you become an authority figure in just a matter of a few days, while other methods require a bit of time and patience as you consistently work towards maximizing your outreach. You'll discover that as you grow your brand, your ability to expand your profits will also grow significantly. It's a simple equation. People buy from those they trust, and the more you can work towards building a solid relationship with your market, the easier it will be to eliminate any skepticism regarding your products or services. In addition to branding yourself this way, you also need to brand yourself as someone who is knowledgeable about a specific subject. You want to become this go-to guy-gal whenever someone asks about a certain topic. Here are a few quick examples. When you think of copywriting, what names jump out at you? When you think of the Internet's largest marketplace, what website is instantly in the front of your mind? When you think of a soda company that utilizes the color red, what company name do you think of? These are all prime examples of branding, whether it be by the use of slogans, color schemes, quality, or exposure as an authority source. So how can you create a brand all your own that is unique and memorable? That's what online branding domination is all about, showing you exactly how standing out and being different will ultimately lead to increased traffic, maximum exposure, and loyal customers. Without further delay, let's get started. Stand out from the crowd. One of the biggest mistakes that new marketers make when entering into the online business industry is in replicating someone else's brand. They see successful marketers in their niche, and instead of focusing on developing a unique brand all their own, they do their best to emulate what they believe is already working for others. If you truly want to develop a brand that provides you with the opportunity to position yourself within your market, you need to stand out from the crowd by creating an online presence that is fresh and different from what everyone else is doing. One way of doing this is by creating your online identity as you would a fictional character in a novel or in a movie. This doesn't mean that your online persona shouldn't be based around your real personality, interests, and skill level, but that you emphasize and exaggerate it so that it fits a specific character. Think of the rich jerk, a prime example of developing a character that is unique and memorable. Love him or hate him, you certainly remember him. Another example of exceptional branding is Scott Allen. Scott realized that to stand out in an already overcrowded marketplace, that his name alone would not be enough. He created a character, the affiliate rock star, and released all of his internet marketing-related products and services under the Rockstar moniker. By doing so, he realized that anyone that came across his websites would realize who they were dealing with and what to expect. He knew by creating this character that would help to define his brand as well as build brand awareness. It didn't take long from the conception of the affiliate rockstar and the buzz around his websites that anyone who was interested in who this character was knew exactly what he was offering. Scott blended in humor with marketing by poking fun of himself and coming up with a moniker that would leave people remembering exactly who he was. Scott knew that in order to be noticed within the overcrowded internet marketing industry, he had to dare to be different. He needed an edge, a refreshing approach that would entertain people, build trust with his visitors, and ultimately be remembered not just for his character and humor, but by being given the opportunity to showcase his talents once people were through the gates. Building trust online in any industry is often an exceptionally difficult task. With so many questionable websites, bogus offers, and hyped-up sales letters promising the moon, you need to do your part in lowering people's defenses so that you can show them that you have something truly unique and beneficial to offer. This applies to any industry or niche market that you are a part of. If you come across as yet another cookie-cutter developer, you won't ever make it to the finish line before you are pulled from the race and forgotten. You need to create buzz around you and your brand to invoke curiosity from those that hear you and develop a reputation as an authority in your market if you want to be successful. You need people to associate your name and brand with a specific skill or market. In fact, this is the very first task you must complete when attempting to build your own distinct brand. It might sound easy, but it's often one of the most difficult challenges that entrepreneurs and online marketers face. They are fearful of being different, and instead end up looking like every other paper doll marketer that comes out of the box. From my years of experience online, if you ever want to make it to the big leagues, you need to be different to be remembered. There's no getting around it. There are many different ways to approach this. You could create a sales page that tells a personal story, or a character-driven storyline that is created for pure entertainment. You could develop a series of entertaining videos that push your brand while keeping people glued to their screens. You could create a compelling character, become controversial, or outright ridiculous. As long as you are offering people something new, refreshing, and unique, you will be able to build an online identity that is never confused with your competitors and is able to stand the test of time. Think about it this way. You can always make the sale once you have a captive audience in your control. You don't need to use hard-selling tactics to get your name out there, nor is quantity the only way to be seen. You can develop a small number of high-quality products that receive more exposure than a never-ending arsenal of cheap, low-grade info products or services if you add the one key ingredient to your marketing plan that is absolutely essential to your success: unique branding. Build your brand, not someone else's. Think of your brand as the leader that distinguishes your name from the majority of online marketers and developers in your niche. Your product line must be of equal quality, but your brand is the driving force behind every campaign you create and every product you launch. Your website can't be entirely focused on your character, of course. However, it helps introduce your products, lower the defenses of those that visit your website, and helps you develop a reputation and relationship with your target audience. Think of the situations you've personally been involved in where storytelling, combined with a strong character or personality, were responsible for motivating you to purchase their product or service. Not only can a brand be the single component in your success, but also it can help you position yourself within your market faster and easier than anything else. Branding also influences longevity. A visitor to your site might purchase a single product, only to never return. But if you have developed a strong brand based around originality, trust, and quality, that customer is likely to remember you and return to your website time and time again. In many ways, building an online brand is the most control you will ever have in regards to your customer base. With a solid brand, you can cover more ground in less time than even the most widespread marketing campaign. People need to trust you, and in order to set the wheels in motion, you need to develop a unique brand on a solid platform. It's likely that you already have a product or service in mind, and undoubtedly you are excited about introducing it to the world. By creating a brand of your own, you will be able to gain a greater level of exposure for your product line by becoming memorable in the mind of your target customer base. But it needs to go deeper than just an online personality. You need to combine your online brand with a cohesive business plan that includes prompt customer support, quality products, and a solid sales system and clear message. You want people to associate your brand with positive influences, and if you do that, your brand will become one of the most valuable assets. There are a number of ways to start building your online brand, including domain names. Your domain name will become your central point headquarters, and you want to choose one that truly reflects your overall business focus. By incorporating keywords that describe your brand or company, you will be able to establish an online presence quickly while protecting your brand in the process. When registering your domain name that will directly tie into your online brand, consider the extended possibilities of other domains that could be perceived as associated to your own, and register those as well. If you take a serious approach to building your online brand, you will want to do all that you can to protect it, such as registering similar domain names and those with alternative extensions, .org, .net, etc. Many marketers who start to develop their online brand overlook this, believing that as long as they have the top-level domain that focuses on their brand, they are protected. This is anything but true. Think about companies like Apple or Amazon. They both started off focusing on branding as a way of entering into the market. They both had existing competitors and had to wedge themselves into the market by taking a different approach. Branding was in all sense the major focal point of their campaigns and the one thing that essentially helped them get their foot in the door. You're aware of cyber squatters, people who intentionally register domain names that could potentially infringe on someone's brand. Many times, these cyber squatters are actually able to win their day in court and go on to retain the domain names despite that someone created a brand around it. Throughout the years, cyber squatters with no real association or direct involvement with celebrities, including TomCruise.com and BruceSpringsteen.com, were able to retain the domain names that they registered, despite the apparent association with brands belonging to public figures. You want to do your part to protect a brand that you intend to spend the time and effort building. It doesn't cost a lot of money to register multiple domain names that carry your brand's keywords, and it will give you far more control over your brand in the future. Of course, It's impossible to register all variations of your brand's association, keywords, etc., but you should at the very least consider registering all popular extensions that people may assume you control. Logo or mascot. Depending on your overall focus, you should consider hiring out the creation of a unique logo or mascot to represent your brand and company. You want to choose one that is original and includes elements that will be both memorable and professional. Outsource the design to an experienced graphic artist and be a large part of the development process. Send over your own concepts and ideas and work with them to create an original design that will symbolize your company and brand. This is by far one of the easiest ways to create an everlasting impression on your target audience. You instantly identify a company by its logo, and if they've done their job at incorporating quality within their brand, you'll also associate every future product or service they release as being just as good as their flagship product. Colors can also become a part of a brand awareness campaign. From Coca-Cola's red to Pepsi's blue, colors are often a simple way of attaching an extremely memorable element to your brand. Apple is yet again another prime example of exceptional branding. People will gladly plunk down money to reserve a future release of an Apple product even before its public release, simply because they've done their job at associating quality with the Apple brand. You want to do the same thing with your brand, even if on a smaller scale. You want people to consciously associate high quality, exceptional value, and phenomenal customer service to your brand, and therefore every product or service you release in the future will be included under your brand's umbrella. Copy and campaign promotions. Your sales copy will directly represent your brand, and the tone, voice, and overall direction you take should work towards further building brand recognition and awareness, as well as brand recall. With brand awareness, your target audience will simply recognize the brand as yours. It doesn't mean that your market will prefer your brand, see your brand as positive, or associate value to your brand, simply that they will recognize it. With brand recall, your target audience will be able to associate your brand instantly to specific components, industry, keywords, product or service type, etc. You need to build both brand awareness and brand recall into every campaign you create, and your sales page copy and promotions will play a large part in developing this recognition. This means that you want to be careful to introduce your brand in a positive way. You want to avoid hype-filled sales pages or not being able to fulfill your promises or offers to your customer base. This should go without saying, but it's one of the leading causes of a brand becoming associated with either positive or negative associations, and it's often one of the most overlooked elements to brand building. Think about how you want your message to be carried and how you want your overall brand to be perceived. Then create your promotional campaigns so that they represent your brand in the best way possible. Avoid competing with ridiculous offers or feeling as though the only way to garner attention is by going over the top with your campaign messages and advertisements. Instead, utilize storytelling, build positive brand awareness, and back your product's offer on a solid foundation so that your brand is consistently working to benefit you in the long run. Remember, building a brand is all about longevity and being able to tap into your target market so that you are able to consistently build your online empire simply by positive reinforcement and a reputation for quality and value. Keywords. Keywords play a major part in building a unique brand. Think of the different keywords that provoke instant association to specific brands. These could be invented words, coined phrases, or simply memorable keywords. They can involve product titles, a product series, or simply your company slogan. In the online business world, this is exceptionally important. The product title you choose could ultimately be the primary factor as to whether it's successful or not. Consider using keywords and phrases that provoke curiosity, are rarely used, and will give you the advantage of developing a brand around a phrase or keyword that could be repeatedly used in future products you release. First impressions really do count. You know what it's like to meet someone, and within the first few minutes you make up your mind about what that person is like and whether they are someone you could see yourself interacting with on a regular basis. A brand is no different. People will instantly judge your products, even ones not yet created, based on their initial impressions of your brand. They will develop emotional connections to your brand, either positive or negative, within the first few minutes, and for many, these feelings will never change. This is why it's critical that your brand represents a strong positive message, and that you take the time to determine what your customer base is likely to respond to, so that you can synchronize your brand's primary message with your overall objective. You want to build instant recognition, but in a very positive way. There's no benefit to creating a highly recognized brand if the message associated with it isn't directly benefiting you. This is exceptionally important in both on and offline business, and the easiest way to build a positive brand is to focus equally on the quality of your product and service, as you do in creating your company image. When it comes to creating a positive first impression, consider all of the elements associated with your company brand. This includes your domain name, website structure, right down to the color scheme, layout, and navigation, the quality of your products, the level of support you offer, your trust factors, how transparent your business is, right down to the keywords and phrasing you directly associate to your brand. You need to be careful with this because there have been hundreds of online businesses who focused on building brands with keywords and phrases that already carried a negative connotation, not realizing that it would directly impact their ability to build a powerful and positive brand. In order to avoid this, you will want to take the time to research the different phrases and keywords that you intend to use within your marketing campaign and brand development. Be sure to check for any cultural differences or references associated with the keywords and phrasing, including product titles, website domain, and slogans you intend to use, so that you are able to develop a widely accepted brand that carries no negative interpretations. This takes a bit of time, but it's a critical step in researching different brand elements before you invest too much time or money into creating an overall campaign that fails to represent your brand in a positive way.